Hey, and welcome to another main contained fishing podcast. We've got Icast 2024 breakdown tonight, along with some exciting news on the back half. So stay tuned for the show, and we will be right back with you. Yeah, and we're back. We're back here on a Thursday night out of Southeast Georgia. Just had some thunderstorms roll in and roll out. So we are hoping we didn't lose electricity so we could bring you this cast. First of all, as always, Main Contained Fishing Podcast is powered by Z-Pro, Sears Power for Sears Anglers. If you need a excellent battery for your kayak, head over to zpro.com. They will hook you up. Some of the best batteries in the industry. So for all my Facebook users, if you are here and live with us, make sure you go to facebook.com/StreamYard and allow them access so I know who is commenting and who is enjoying the show. We got Benya in the house tonight. As always, thank you for watching, and let's get at it. So, had the opportunity to go to Icast 2024. What an experience, right? As any fishing enthusiast or tackle guru, things like that. So, me and Christina, we traveled down to Orlando. God knows Orlando traffic is horrendous. There's no easy way to get around Orlando, Florida. But we headed down there on Monday, got checked our Airbnb, and we kind of relaxed. Tuesday, we went to On the Water Day. This is an experience from the get-go. Okay, I didn't know what to expect. I've talked to a few people that attended Icast in the past, and so we walk into this huge convention center to begin with, and they're still putting the show together for the showroom floor. You got equipment running around, and you got the Dodge forklifts and things like that, but needless to say, it was an experience. So we come back the next day on Wednesday morning. Well, let me tell you about On the Water experience. Let me step back. So On the Water experience, I had the opportunity to try out some new rods, some new reels that are hitting the market. Saw some new kayaks, and took it all in. You know, you got all these tents lined up down this walkway with the lake behind you, things like that. So, yeah, On the Water Day was experienced. I've got to hang out with Yak Rods at the On Water Day. They had some rods available for people to kind of see how they felt in their hands and casted them and things like that. So that kind of ended Tuesday on the Water Day. So we just kind of took all that in. I was kind of exhausted. It was hot. It was terribly hot. But we come back Wednesday, and it was a whole new experience. You know, you got all the booths set up from one end of this convention center to the other. It's like Christina said, we walked in the door and she's like, wow, I didn't know this many people are in the fishing industry. Hey, Scott, how are you doing tonight, sir? And it was just kind of overwhelming, um, because I had some people that I needed to make contact with, things like that. So I had to kind of download that. They have an app that you can get on your phone and kind of lay out where you needed to go. So Yak Rides was all the way in the back corner. So I had to make a track about a half a mile back. So we tracked it long, kind of weeding in through booths, things like that. So we got the Yak Rods, introduced my wife to Tandy, to Chris, to James. They were all there working the Yak Rod booth. So we spent a couple, maybe an hour and a half there, and then kind of came up to the Dubro fishing booth where the paddle and fin guys were. They were doing live broadcast from the Dubro booth for the Paddle and Fin podcast network. So they brought people in throughout the day, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Kind of interviewed them, did some live stuff with people, and just talking about their product and how the Icast experience is going with them. So kind of hung out with them guys for a few hours. We decided to do something kind of out the ordinary. It's called a lunch and learn. They have these lunch and learns down at Icast, and Christina sat in one while I went and I had to talk with Will from Spike It Outdoors. Spike It Outdoors is a local company here in Georgia, out of Brooklet, Georgia. They do a lot of dipping stuff for baits and color stuff, and they've come out with a new product that you can actually paint your baits with to see them on forward facing sonar a little bit better. So I got to talk with Will. So after that, I went back, sat down at another lunch and learn with Christina about social media. They had a panel of ladies up there that talked about social media, building your social media, being a content creator. The guy who introduced them worked for Mudhole Tackle. Very informative of how to build brands and how to create content in order for brands to reach out to you. So that we got a lot from that, and taking it back to help me build my brand as well. Just to give you a highlight point, talking about brand building, was getting with companies approaching yourself as anglers and saying, "Hey, want you to create content for me?" And one young lady that was on the panel said, kind of said this was, don't accept the products from companies that you haven't used before, more or less. Kind of say, hey, if they reach out to you, they want you to use their product. Say, hey, let me use it for a couple weeks, a couple months, kind of give you some feedback, and we'll go from there. And don't be hesitant to turn companies down if it doesn't fit in your niche as an angler. To help build your brand as a person and as a brand, to withstand your brand, to make it stand out from any other brand. So we attended that and learned a lot from it, and we took it all in, more or less. So then as the hours clicked on, I walked around a little bit more to kind of see everything. There were some extraordinary booths. Realtree Fishing had a cabin built in their booth. But around 4:00, things kind of dwindling down. All the buyers and everything are are done doing their business with these companies, signing contracts, things like that. So the social hour started. And let me tell you about the social hour. So I'm sitting with Randy Newton from Paddle and Fin Network. We're sitting there, and Randy's like, "You're fixing to experience something that you've never experienced before." And I was like, "What you mean?" He's like, "Man, it's fixing to get wild in here." I was like, "Wow, what are they going to do?" And he's like, "Well," he said, "first of all, we got to go find us some beer." I was like, "Beer?" Like, "Yeah, man, they fixing to get thrown down in here." So I walked with Randy. We walk over to the Under Armour booth. There was a long line. I was like, "Man, we got to stand in that line for some beer?" No, I can go get me a beer down the street somewhere on the way home. And no, so we found another, I guess, company pouring beer in their booth. So we got a beer from there. But looking over in the Under Armour booth, I said, "Randy," I said, "that line is for sushi." They had a chef over there, had a big yellowfin tuna sitting on top of the table with a cutting board, and this guy's cutting fresh tuna and serving it to everybody. I'm like, okay, that's wild. That's the first for me. So we kind of get our beers. I carry Christina a beer, and so we kind of sit around and talk a little bit more. And then I had the luxury of meeting Dwayne Whaley from Attorney X. He calls me on the phone and says, "Hey, man, where you at?" I was like, "I'm over here with Dubros and Paddle Fin guys." And he's like, "Well, I'm at Low Rants." I said, "Okay, I'll come back to Low Rants." So I walked back to Low Rants booth, and I kind of met with him and got him introduced to Christina. And so we sat there and had a beer and talked about Attorney X and the future of Attorney X and some new things that he's coming out with. I think he actually released some on his page today of some new things that they are releasing. So I know one thing is a push notification. So as a tournament director, you can actually push a notification just to one angler instead of trying to pick up the phone and call that angler or send him a text, so you can send it right through the app. So just everybody who fishes out there, kayak fishes, use Attorney X. Just tell your tournament directors to kind of look for the new stuff that's being pushed out by Attorney X. So after the social hour, we stayed there for about another hour or so and talked with Dwayne, and then we kind of jetted back to the Airbnb, went to eat and things like that. So that's my whole Icast experience. I know that there's a lot of YouTube videos out there showing different products, different things like that, but really my take on Icast is, yeah, there's a lot to look at, and when you go for your first time, you really have to kind of sit down and say, okay, who do I want to reach out to, or who do I want to go speak to about their product, or see, if I use a particular type bait like Z-Man released some new shad baits. So I think that was when I was in the Z-Man booth, I ended up talking with Drew Gregory, and we kind of exchanged information, and he's putting on an event in Ocala, Florida next year for the I guess his kayak adventure series. So we talked about that a little bit, how to get people down there from Georgia and the Southeast. So we might be heading back to Florida for the Ocala kayak adventure series in 2025. But yeah, so Icast was fun. It was just kind of overwhelming to begin with, because I've never been to that size of fishing industry expos. So it was neat. It was a learning experience. So if I get invited next time, then I know what to expect, and Christina knows what to expect as well. So just kind of taking my take. I think there was 4 products that really kind of caught my eye as a kayak angler and it's somebody that loves to fish, right? Um, and one of those is um, the Lowrance Eagle Eye 9 um, fish, I guess sonar, fish finder, whatever you want to call it. But this thing is 9 inches. It's under $1,000. It's $999. Uh, when I was talking to Dwayne over in the Lowrance booth, he kind of directed me to it and said, "Hey man, Lowrance has come out with something that's going to probably change the world of kayak bass fishing because now you don't have to have dual transducers, dual monitors. So it kind of has become an eye-catching thing. I would consider it eye-catching. It's the Eagle 9 with CMAP. It's got forward-facing sonar on it. It's got down imaging. It's got side imaging. It's got the CMAP, inlet charts, and so I think this will be a excellent type of sonar system for a kayak. Just because it's all included in one, you don't have to worry about running dual batteries. You don't have to worry about running dual transducers. So it's just one transducer and one monitor. So yeah, I think it will be a great asset to kayak anglers, and even small boat John boat guys that are fishing like a John boat series, things like that. So there's 2 kayaks that caught my attention that was released at Icast. You got the Bonafide XTR 130 and the Wilderness Technical Pro. So we're going to look at the Bonafide first. But this boat, a lot of people are saying, well, you should just buy a John boat. It's a plastic John boat. It's a plastic John boat. I don't think it is. I don't think it'd be classified. I know Bonafide had to come up with another boat for bigger people, for serious kayak anglers, tournament anglers, things like that. So I think overall, Bonafide, as you can tell in the picture here, it's a tandem. So it's a tandem kayak. You can see the MRSP on it. It's about $2,800, $2,799. Not bad overall. I know that Bonafide is just selling one seat with the boat. And these are the current colors that they are, I think, producing it in. But a lot of storage space on the front hatch. A deep well system where you can store. You could put 2 batteries. Maybe you can use a 30 amp or a 100 amp hour battery up front. Kind of the seats track on the track system from front to rear. So, but overall, I think Bonafide is stepping up their game a little bit as far as maybe getting some people in some boats that wouldn't be able to purchase a boat. So it's still a lot lesser than a Hobie PA-14. And then the second kayak is a Wilderness Technical kayak, the Tactical Pro 128. So we're going to try to get the picture up here for you for the Wilderness. But here's the Wilderness Tactical Pro 28. I saw it operational on the water. I didn't get a chance to get into the boat itself, just because there were so many people waiting in line. But I did talk to the Wilderness guys. Great group of guys. Same thing. It's a pretty large boat, pretty heavy. I think it comes over 100 and something pounds, with no motor, no gear in it. So it's not bad. I kind of like the layout. It's got you got your front storage hatches. You got two other hatches up front, and you got the big hatch behind the seat. So, like they always say, it might be a game changer. But yeah, that's my take on some of the products. I've got another product I'm fixing to discuss, and because they invited me to Icast, so we are gonna take a little bit of break right here. We'll be right back.
Sometimes it's hard to focus, just to persevere and just to make it. But everything that's within your grasp, you gotta take it. You gotta go harder, just dig deeper inside you to find that method, that mode that wants that hunger to survive, just to ride the grind, to take it the way you gotta take it and never stop. I came to win, yeah, I came to win. I came to win, yeah, I came to win. I came to win, yeah, I came to win. Can't no one stop me, yeah, bring it in. I came to win, yeah, I came to win.
Hey, welcome back. As always, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with all the content that I will be pushing out here in the next couple months. So the last release that I think is a very, very good idea for us kayak anglers. And these people are super nice. They're from Idaho. The company's originally from Idaho. Tandy, Chris, James is from Midwest Kayak Group. He actually owns a kayak shop up in the Midwest. Is the new releases for the Yak Rods system. What I really like is this tethering system for the rod itself. And another part they released was the track mount magnet. So talking a little bit about this magnetic tether system, what it does, it kind of, you have the end, your butt rod of the end, and you have this tether that has a magnet in both of them, so it just goes right into the rod, the bottom of the rod. It don't affect the way you cast it. It hooks straight to your belt or your PFD. So if you happen to, catch a fish, lay your rod down, and you're fumbling with the fish, and you turn and kick the rod, it goes overboard. You have it tethered, so you can just pull it right back up. As far as the track mount system goes, it's a neat idea. You can get a, say if you have 3 or 4 rods with this system. Say that they sell a foundation. They sell a foundation series as well. It's a 3-rod series that you can throw any bait on. you have a spinning and 2 casting setups. So with yak rods, a 3-rod series will let you throw anything in the world that you want to throw, bass fishing wise. So with the track mount system that they've come out with, is the rod can actually be staged right behind you on the track mount, so you don't have to slide it in and out of a rod holder or anything like that. They take up a lot less space. So it's a cool idea. I really like it. I really like the tether system on it. Durable products. I put them all in my hands. I was showing people at the show, and it's definitely something to look at in the future if you don't want to lose any rods. So, but yeah, that's my take on all the products that I liked at Icast that I physically looked at, I put my hands on. So, but yeah, I didn't look at too many bait companies because there were just so many. And I can go back on YouTube and look at Jacob Wheeler, DC, all them guys that deal with Crush City, and then you have, Berkeley, had Ike McAnally there. But yeah, I had a chance to meet some cool people, some very cool people at Icast. If y'all don't know him off Instagram, his name is Major Gator 95. I posted a picture of him on my page, and cool guy. Met him at the Lunch and Learn. Saw a lot of pro anglers. Scott Martin, Keith Boucher, he was there. They were real busy. They were, they were trying to shoot content for their sponsors. So, but yeah, I think overall that the kayak bass fishing industry was well represented at Icast this year. Z-Pro was there as well with their batteries. There's a lot more lithium battery companies there. Just golly, man, I tell you, there's so much to talk about. I'd be here for 2 days talking about it, but the only thing I can tell you is if you have the chance with a company to go to Icast, is definitely talk with them and say, hey, I would like to attend Icast. If you know any companies that deal with Icast, things like that. So I can say in my lifetime I went one time. So, but yeah, I wanted to kind of express to everybody that my podcast is moving into a new direction. Some exciting news. I was approached by the Paddle and Fin Network guys, Brian Schiller, Randy Newton, John Rapp, Matt Gibson, that they wanted me to join their network. It's official. I will be representing Main Contain Fishing on the Main Contain Fishing Podcast Network. So we'll be streaming to all the platforms. Golly, Paddle and Fin Network, some my socials. So we'll be on Spotify. We'll still be on Spotify. We'll be on iHeart. We'll be on Apple. We'll be on Waypoint TV. So if you have Waypoint TV and you watch Waypoint TV, you can find all the podcasts there as well. So it's exciting news for me, for my brand, and I still have relationships with everybody. So it's just, I was just trying to hold on to the news until we got everything finalized after Icast and things like that. So, but I want to say to Mike Hanson, thank you for all your assistance. And we're friends. We continue to talk, and so it will be an experience. It will be a learning experience for me to work with a group of guys like that. Yeah, we've got some things lined up. I've got a content creation calendar now. I'm fixing to be busy with all that. We'll have some guests on from the fishing industry. Certainly, we've made a lot of contacts down at Icast. I mean, I probably handed out 100 business cards, and not talking about my digital card as well. But but yeah, it was a great experience. I met a lot of good people. You would think that dealing with people in the industry like that, big companies, they wouldn't talk to you. But it's kind of a neat network. I'm going to tell you that the fishing industry is a neat network behind the walls. Because we had people walking, and they would stop and talk to you, say, hey, hey, where you from, what you do, who you here with, things like that. So, but yeah, it was a neat experience, and hopefully I can get to attend next year. Just have to get to talking with some folks and pushing forward in the industry. But yeah, I'm not going to keep y'all very long tonight. Just kind of wanted to kind of outline my experience with Icast, what I took away from the new product showcase and things like that. I know probably all the fishermen out there are probably watched every YouTube video of Icast 2024, because everybody gives their own take on it and things like that. But being a first timer, I just kind of wanted to kind of give you my experience and what we experienced walking into I would say probably 100,000 square foot showroom floor. You big bass tanks with fish in it, and big displays, things like that. So, but yeah, we'll keep pushing forward, folks. And as always, thank you for joining the Make Contain Fishing podcast. Make sure you go over and or follow me at Southeast Georgia Kayak Bass Fishing on Facebook. I'll be pushing out some. I will be pushing out some content over there as well. Not all content is going to be here on YouTube. It's going to be kind of 50-50. So just to kind of give you a heads up where some of my content will be. Michael Bradley, I think it's 50-50. Yes, they do both. On the saltwater and the freshwater in them tanks. So, but yeah, thank y'all for watching. Keep up the good work out there, folks. Even if you're small, you're growing your channels, you're growing your brand. Keep your brand in the people's spotlights. That way you can reach out to companies can reach out to you. um, Hopefully in the near future I'll have somebody that is a big influencer come onto the channel, kind of talk about building your brand, building your social media content, how to push forward with that, how to represent yourself to the companies, and what they need to give back to you, you need to give back to them. So, but as always, thank you for joining the Main Contain Fishing Podcast. Always, always, when you're on the water, wear your PFD and fish on.